Hi everybody, Erica here from Pink Buckaroo Designs, and I've got a card for you today that is not a simple card. It's a little more kicked up a notch, if you want to say. It has a lot of steps, but it is very pretty, and it's inspired by my own mom. She has blue and white china. She always has had it, and that's what we always use as a kid growing up. She still uses it. So I always try to make a Mother's Day card towards that kind of pattern because I know she likes it so much. So this is what we're going to do today. I'm using this stamp set called You're Wonderful. It is a photopolymer stamp set that was released online only, so you can find it online. You're going to need a piece of watercolor paper, and this one measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. You're also going to need an aqua painter, and we're going to use Soft Sky for this background watercolor. Now to start with, I'm going to squeeze my stamp pad like this. That's going to help me get my ink over here on the lid. And I want to make a watercolor background, just a light watercolor background. So I'm going to use a lot of water. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of go around. I want to leave a white border, and it doesn't have to be straight. Watercolor is very I don't know, kind of not messy, but it's not perfect at all. It's very hand done, hand drawn, hand painted. So don't worry about those straight lines. It's going to look more, it's going to give you more of that watercolor look if it's not perfect. So I'm going to make my border, leaving a little bit of that white around, and then I'm just going to start filling it in. And every now and then you might need to pull a little bit of color off of that pad. I'm not real picky with my pads. I know some people don't like to do this with their pads, but I am always just whatever is going to be the fastest and easiest. It's not going to ruin your pads or anything, and when you're done you can take a paper towel and dry that off. Alright, so you're gonna go all the way around filling in your little border, and for the sake of the video I have one that's already done, so we're going to skip ahead to that. And one thing you need to make sure is that it's dry, because your stamping will spread out and not look good if you don't let it dry. All right, so now that I have it all done, I'm going to get the flowers from that stamp set. And I do not want to get, I have water right here. I don't want to get that on my paper, so I'm going to move that kind of out of the way. I'm using the big, medium, and the teeny tiny flowers, and I'm going to use the Night of Navy ink. And you know, there's no right or wrong way, however you want to do this. You can just start stamping random. That blue and white china pattern is very different. If you Google it, you'll see all kinds of different ways that they've done it. So I'm just going to randomly fill in, and remember, don't pound your pad too hard. You just need to tap it on there. Let's see. All right, now I'm going to use these little bitty ones and kind of fill in those open spaces. I need to slow down or I'm going to mess this up. All right, so just however much you want, and oh, I just smeared that, but that's okay. We're going to cover that up. Any open flower pattern stamp that you have, I think would work well with this. All right, now that I have that all ready to go, I'm going to get Marina Mist, and we're going to watercolor in some of the flowers, but we don't want a lot of water. Okay, just don't even squeeze the tip anymore. Just use what's on there right now. And very carefully go back with the Marina Mist and fill in a few of the flowers. If you use a lot of water, the images that you stamped a minute ago in Night of Navy are going to smear and spread out. So you want to work slowly and just use very, very little water. I'm going to speed up the video at this point, and then I will come back when I'm done. All right, I'm back now. Got that all done. You can see it was just kind of random how I did it. One thing I want to reiterate is to be really careful with your hand. As I was moving around, I smeared a few things, so be real careful with that. All right, so now you're going to need a Night of Navy card base, and this one is just an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock cut in half, the long ways, at 5.5. Now I'm using Fast Fuse, which is my favorite, but because this is watercolor paper, I would recommend that you only use something strong like this because that paper will tend to curl up because it's been wet. All right, the next thing that I did was I got some of our Sahara Sand lace, okay, and I'm just going to put it right across there. You can see how this is a good way to cover up some of my boo-boos there. Always a way to cover it up, right? A mistake is just another reason to embellish, is what I've read online. Okay, now I've taken a piece of 1 inch by 5.5 inches Night of Navy, and I've cut it using one of our edgelets. You'll see it in the supply list. And I'm going to put that on there with a Fast Fuse also. And then a 3/4 of an inch by 5.5 inches Night of Navy DSP from the Regal's DSP stack. I'm going to put those across there. Now I'm going to take my scissors and just trim off anything that is there on the edge, like that. Okay, so there we have that. Let's see, now we're going to use some linen thread, which I adore. The linen thread. I don't know what it is about the linen thread. I love it. It's my favorite. It's my go-to. Tie that about in the middle. Okay. And if you put your finger on that knot and pull those strands like that, it will help you to straighten out your bow. Okay, now you need to use your, I believe it was 2¼ inch circle framelit, and cut out a piece of Whisper white paper. Now usually I stamp first and then cut out, but because these are clear, they're completely clear with photopolymer, you can see exactly where you're stamping. So I went ahead and did it first, and I'm going to stamp this medium sized bunch of flowers there in the middle. And I have some of the words. The best part of the stamp set is there are so many different options as far as what words to use. So I'm going to do to my, and I can see exactly where I'm putting it, to my amazing. Hopefully with a camera it's a little bit hard. Yeah, well, I guess that will be all right. I could turn it around and do the other side, but we'll just leave it for now for the sake of the video. All right, now I'm going to do the exact same thing with my Marina Mist. Very carefully to not squeeze any more water. And I'm going to color these in really quickly. There we have that. Now I'm going to use some white candy dots. These are so fun to use, and I'm going to put them right in the center. I couldn't decide exactly what color I wanted to do. You could do the dark blue, you could do a light blue, but I went ahead and went with a white. All right, and then the last thing you need to do is to get some dimensionals. I'm going to put one at the top and one at the bottom. I can get the little papers off today. Come on, guys. And put this right on the side of that bow. And there you have it, a really beautiful Mother's Day card that would be perfect for your mom. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.